Noob Teyo is one of the best IGLs in North America. He's 100% the most underrated and continues to see success across multiple different seasons. I had the pleasure to sit down with him, learn about being a good IGL, learn about his decision making, and why he does certain things throughout a game. This is super helpful if you guys want to learn how to be an IGL or just want to learn how to get better at Fortnite. So take a listen and let's learn from Noob Teyo. First of all, Teo, thank you for joining, bro. I really appreciate it. And you taking the time to talk through how you IGL a trio and how exactly this all works.
Yeah, no problem. Glad to be here.
So walk me through your trio. Obviously, you're the IGL. You got Pledge. You got Tabs. Are there any roles, any specific things these guys are supposed to do? Like, how does this work for you guys?
So in my tree is Pledge and Tabs. I don't really have specific roles for them, but if we had to put a name on both of them, like, I'd say Pledge is the main fragger, and then Tabs is the secondary fragger, and then also more of like support player. He plays with Pledge in endgame, like I calm that I need help in like the front of the tarp, then he'll make sure Pledge isn't tunnel visioning something else, and he's also more smarter, I'd say. So he's a good balance between a fragger and like IGL/support.
Okay, nice. So he kind of keeps it together and helps you IGL almost, it sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Weeping. Why weeping? You guys been landing here as long as I can remember. Why is it weeping for you?
I didn't really choose the land weeping, but I've been kind of going here for a while. I basically have it uncontested every final we make, so I guess that's why we still land here. It's not the greatest POI, but it can do you good.
This is the second to last game in the Cash Cup. You guys finished second place. Just for some context for anyone that watches this. What is your game plan going into this match? Like, what are you trying to do? What is your overall goal you're looking to accomplish?
Mainly during cash, because we try to take mid-game fights if we can, but overall you just want to make sure you're getting to the end game in a good position. Otherwise, it might be a waste of 20 minutes where you get 4 or 5 points.
Let's jump ahead and try and find one of these fights because it looks like you guys getting a few of them. As far as like what makes a good fight and what makes a bad mid-game fight, what is your decision making on this? Like, how do you choose when you want to get into one of these fights?
It only depends like what happens before the fight that would make us want to fight them. Like, we usually utilize the auto sniper to try and get pre-entry fight damage. If we get like a triple spray, you might knock one. This fight right here, we didn't want to fight. We were just rotating in our car, and this team just started ramping us, or they shot our car and then started ramping us.
Gotcha. All right, so the auto snipe. Not a lot of people, I feel like, use that until towards the end of this season. Is it that good of a weapon? Like, why did it take so long for everyone to start using it?
It's incredibly broken, especially in like grand finals or finals in general. Just for like Storm Surge, like if you get one and you're below Surge, like definitely a problem with your positioning. Because even if you're not in the greatest Surge spot, you can easily just bait people to peek and then double link them or just double body them for 800 damage.
Because you're always going to win that, right? If you have the auto snipe and they have a regular AR, you're winning that 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, especially in like laggy lobbies, if people even peek their head for like half a second on their screen, you could kill them. Okay,
interesting. That's good to know. And then the other piece, do you always hold the charge shotgun in your trio?
Not always, but usually we find like purple levers from crows and stuff, and I think I'm pretty good with the charge. I like using it solos as well, so I carry it.
So charge over the lever?
Yeah, for sure.
I feel that. I like the charge. I really like a different weapon, and I think the charge gives us that, but we'll see. It may not come back for a long time or ever.
Yeah. Super strong in some situations, but I feel like the pump kind of overall outclasses it. I'm pretty good with it, so I enjoy using it.
Yeah, in endgame particularly, like in those like team endgame fights where your opponent's like a tile or two away, you'll just out trade damage with them, which I think is the strongest piece of it. But it takes teamwork, which you guys obviously have.
Yep.
I don't necessarily. Is there anything interesting that happens in this mid game? I don't necessarily remember.
No, not really. Right. We're just focusing on getting in since it pulled max.
I remember this piece. You guys just get in. All right, so like walk me through your mid-game scenario here. It's obviously going to be a little different because it's a Cash Cup, but there's still 48 people up. Somewhat of an alive game. I think it'll probably be like 40 by the time this closes, but What's your overall thinking on positioning and where you want to be third, fourth, and fifth zones?
For this game, we were in a pretty bad spot because of that fight. Because we were kind of pre-firing that the zone would be pulling max distance for us, but then the team started fighting us, so we couldn't get to one of these positions early. But generally, we like to be center third in order to get fourth zone and possibly fifth.
Okay. And then a little weird rotate. Not going to lie to you. Like, why get so close to those guys and then wind up just going underneath them? Why this spot?
Well, I didn't want to go to the right from where we were before, because like we're in a car, could easily just get looked at by one team, triple sprayed, and then we'd probably die there. But I didn't necessarily mean to go to that close to that fight, but we heard them getting cracked and stuff, so we thought we could just drive by and maybe get a extra point.
All right. Just trying to steal a quick little elim there, and then you wind up getting stuck is kind of what happened.
Yeah. Well, I was
Okay.
pretty happy with where we were, like on this side of the hill, since we did have a launch pads.
Yeah, I think you guys have, what, 3 launch pads right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna speed this up because I know you sit here and do nothing for like a minute. So
Yeah.
walk me through this fifth zone rotation. You guys are gonna pad. I believe you pad twice, right?
Yeah, I think we do.
What's the game plan when you're doing that? Because I see a lot of top players do that, but I don't think everyone understands why you guys pad twice.
Well, it's just depending on the situation, it could be just way less risky. Or if you're going to make a rotate without a pad, you might have to just use all the mats you have, and that's just something you don't want to do. So there's a risk factor, and also just like overall the better play. Even though you're using one of your movement items, you'll come out with 1,000 mats more each.
Fair enough. And if you like could perfectly, oh, actually, you double pad next. You double pad first moving. You guys just pad into this one. But like, if you could perfectly, you have 3 launch pads. Play this. How would you do it? And like, what's your game plan for this? As far as padding in which zones and which zones you want to rotate through, is there kind of like a game plan ahead of time before you even start this right here?
Not really, but if you have 3 pads, you definitely, unless you're like a couple boxes away from half and half, you definitely want to use your pad, just so you don't risk ending your game. But on first move, you don't have to use 2 pads. If you have 2 pads, you can recycle, then use one, and then you have one for second moving if it pulls far, or if you're a height team, maybe you want to save it to try and take height. But there's not really a standard way of rotating every single game.
And this is your typical drop down cleanup play, right?
Yeah.
Walk me through that. How do you decide to go for that, and like what kind of cued you on that was the play for you guys?
Generally I'm the one kind of calling the drop downs, but usually we hear some sort of gunfire and just try and capitalize on someone having no awareness on us and focusing on their fight.
Okay. So someone's
we
getting
saw them
shot
getting
at.
sprayed. We saw them getting sprayed, yeah.
Okay. So you either hear shooting or someone's getting shot at, and you're like, all right, cool, this is free.
Yeah.
Nice. A little teamwork there, bringing the body back. Is that something you guys always try and do? Bring it back in?
Yeah, we try to do it, but sometimes like if it kills team below you, like with a double edit, you don't want to jump in all their stuff.
Yeah.
But usually we try and get the body.
Okay. So now I think you guys are gonna double pad.
Yeah, especially for like mountains and this. I do try to do this a lot.
And as far as like you've established yourself in 5th, or once you guys get in 6th, when you're chilling in your box, what are you looking at? Like, what is going through the mind of Teyo right here?
Well, you just want to know before you even start rotating, like what the terrain is like. So I'm just looking up and also keeping a check on height, seeing what's happening, and I see they get chopped. So I wanted to play for it, but then I saw the other team ramping in a couple seconds. Yeah.
Okay.
So I decided just to use their pads.
So then you guys just chill, wait till Storm's at your back, and then we're gonna use the first one.
Yeah.
And is there like a specific position that you like to land at when you're hitting a pad?
I said we were gonna double pad before I even placed that first one. So we just want to land in a safe spot. None of us getting killed out of the air or anything, and just everyone be on each other. But usually I try and land like mid ground, dead side if we're going first moving far distance pad.
Okay. And you guys are typically a low ground team, if I'm right, right?
Yeah, we generally play like mid ground first moving, and then try and take low ground in the later zones.
Okay. Is it different in Cash Cups versus Grand Royale or like FNCS, or you guys kind of play it all the same?
I think there's a difference between like a grand finals and then cash cups. Yeah.
Well, obviously there's a difference, right? But like as
Yeah,
far
yeah.
as you guys
Like,
playing it, what is the difference?
Well, there's just a bigger skill gap between like the certain teams. Like they'll try and take your walls and stuff more often, or be successful in like fighting you off in a grand final than like a cash cup.
Gotcha. So you can more easily establish that layer is kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, generally.
Obviously, you will run into good teams every once in a while, but
Yeah.
less often.
Yeah.
All right. And now we're getting towards the end of the game. There's not many people left. We got 20 people. 19, I guess, if
Yeah.
you want to be specific. Like, what is the overall game plan? Are we looking to try and win this game? Or are we just trying to stay alive at the moment? What's going through your head?
So I think like 20 seconds back, I started looking at height because I knew it was a hill zone. I knew a lot of people didn't have mats, and the height team could have been channels as well. And I saw they were on wood, so I called tabs. I actually shot it out from the back, and then we tried to fight for it.
Okay, so you're looking at it right now, right?
Yeah, tabs shoots it out from the back.
And they're sitting there shooting at you. They get chopped,
Yeah.
and now you're like, all right, cool, this is free.
Yeah, I saw that kid like running around. It seemed like they didn't have that many mats. We just all went up.
Nice. And then from this point on, like, this is easy, right?
Yeah. It's pretty much a free win. We just had to apply pressure. Everyone seemed to have no mats. Like they were all fighting on low ground, so we got some free kills.
Damn, those mountain zones suck. Everyone just spent all their mats on those, and now you guys are chilling on height.
Yeah, it's tough when you only have like one launch pad. Unless you get a big refresh during moving, can't really get in the top 3 situation.
Are there any rules you set for yourself during these end games? Like any kind of principles you play by, anything that you try and like pretty consistently do, or everything is in the moment, you're just making these decisions?
I don't really have like, no, I don't think I have any rules, but I've looked at a lot of different games, my own and other people's, like kind of just know what to do in the moment, like what's the right play.
Okay.
So I guess that's kind of a rule, just like what I know. I
Yeah,
just
based
follow.
on your experience.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anyone specifically you like look up to or watch their gameplay and learn from, or anyone that's helped you along the way?
Usually I just watch my own, but sometimes I watch like the winner of like DreamHack Final, or just like other top teams on EU and stuff, and NA.
So
No
Teyo
one's
is self-built, right? Right? That's what you're saying? Obviously with your teammates, but you're an underappreciated IGL. I feel like you don't often get talked about in that conversation. And it's even kind of more impressive that you watch it all on your own and kind of just learn the game by yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I've definitely watched a lot of replays. I like watching myself. I think it's most helpful because like nobody else, really plays like you except for you. So you can't really improve as much if you're watching someone else, or if you're watching like a height team, and I play mid ground.
And one more question for you. Well, first of all, thank you for sharing all this, but what do you learn from watching yourself? Like, what have you learned about yourself as a player that you probably didn't know, or you don't know until you watch?
Name something off the top of my head, but like there's just a lot of small things that you can find out, but you also have to make sure you fix it. But there's a lot of small things you can find out through watching your games.
All right. And we got one last question, because I'm sure other people want to know how to become an IGL. Any advice you would give to someone trying to become an IGL in Fortnite?
Yeah, definitely want to watch a lot of replays. Also, if you want to be an IGL, you kind of have to know how to lead a team and be that kind of person. Like even if you're not naturally, you can still try and do that, but definitely something to think about. You have to have really good communication with your teammates and stuff like that, especially when it's an intense situation. But also, you just want to know the game overall, and like every situation, you want to make it a good outcome.
Awesome. Well, thank you, bro. I appreciate you. Hopefully, we'll help some people out learn from your play style. You should stream more so people can learn from you. I don't know if that's something in the cards, but I would watch.
Yeah. Well, hopefully everyone enjoyed the video, and yeah, I'll start streaming more, probably in the off season now.
Ooh, let's go.